an ongoing contact tracing investigation. So we'll talk to them. We've also got Lacia Casil from the Agatnia Revitalization and was it Agatnia? It's HRRA. Okay, and there was a little thing that Vice Speaker Talina Nelson had said I think it was the that hearing there where she had said that, talking about priorities, she said something like, "Oh, HRA revitalizing Agatnia is nice, but," and so I think that Lacia Casil is the executive director of HRA might have taken offense to that, and so she'll be on. And we've got public health to talk a little bit about the child care cares funds. But first, there was a late development yesterday out of the State Historic Preservation Office. So that being said, we want to bring on the SHPO, Patrick Lujan, to the show. Good morning, Pat.
Hi, Pat. Can you hear us, Pat? There, we can hear you.
Hold on a second, Pat. Let's. He's not coming out on the board.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Maybe you should turn up his mic, or.
Is your mic on, Pat?
Yeah.
No, he's coming out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
Go ahead and Pat. Can you hear?
There you go.
There.
All right. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, very loud and clear.
Definitely.
Good morning.
Wow. Yeah, we can definitely hear you, Pat. Let's just go ahead and get started. The invocation of Stipulation 13.
Yeah, based on new and substantial archaeological findings.
Right. Can we just first, Pat, because we don't know, there aren't any pictures that we have seen. Can you describe for us, to the best of your ability, the types of significant discoveries that were made that prompted you invoking Stipulation 13?
All right, so this is, good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
Bree, Jason, DC. So over the last year since I've been in the office, obviously the live firing range has been ongoing up at Northwest Field. Now going back again to previous disturbance of the Northern Plateau, there's evidence and pictures of post-World War II of complete flattening of the Northern Plateau. Since then, over the last, 50, 60, 70 years, there's been vegetation growth that's come about. Now, with the clearing of the firing ranges, obviously the first four, that's been ongoing. We've had obvious findings of cultural resources, some sherds, some different aspects of cultural findings. So since they have not yet done the fifth and final and largest firing range, we've called for them to resurvey it in a more extensive manner based off of what we've been finding in the first four firing ranges.
Right.
So that was the concept of invoking the Stipulation 13.
Right, Pat. So I heard that they had found a complete Laddie era set of remains. Are you able to tell us anything about that?
Yeah, I think that was in the Marine Cantonment, the Magua area, which is further south of the live firing range. So a lot of times people get the two mixed up as far as, the Marine Cantonment, which will be Camp Blas, as compared to the live firing ranges. That's a little bit north over at Northwest Field.
Can you just tell us what are the four live fire training range sites?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell us what are the four live fire training range sites?
It's all in the vicinity of the Northwest Field. Mm-hmm. So right above Arunau, you have most of the clearing done with the first four firing ranges, and those are the smaller ranges with the biggest one yet to come.
Mm-hmm. Pat, could you tell us a little bit about the process now that you've invoked STIP 13? It's a 45-day period. Just start at the beginning. What's the next step for you and Joint Region?
So basically, it's no surprise to Joint Region that I've issued this. I've been in discussion with them for quite some time. So they're aware that the probability of invoking STIP 13 is real. And they also understand we've had open dialogue for them to understand the position of my office of why we'd like to do that. So again, open dialogue with them, and so they were not surprised by the letter yesterday. I'm hoping that within the 45-day consultation period, so to speak, that we can have a resolution and they would be in agreement with the call for a resurvey. If not, then as stated in the letter, that it will go to the advisory council for determination.
Can you tell us where are these artifacts that were found at the 4 historical sites and the human remains? Where are they being stored?
So the artifacts are being stored at a secured area that the Marine Corps has developed. So it's secured under the control of their archaeologists, the Marine Corps archaeologists, also the Air Force. So it's a combination of the two, for because the Air Force is really still overseeing the live firing range, even though it's going to be used for the Marines. And then MCAG, Marine Corps of Guam, is concentrating on the cantonment side.
Do you know how many remains or artifacts have been discovered?
Yeah, so the remains that we have, that's at Camp Blas. So they're up to 4 human remains, burials, that they have not removed or touched. And we're actually in dialogue with them to keep those in place and to respectfully, so we're actually notionalizing a monument where they will not be removed. And then all the artifacts that's been found at the cantonment, they're planning to do like a visitor center display,
like a repository
at the entrance.
Yeah. Pat, so when you talk about preserving in place these uncovered remains, how much of a sticking point is that, and how would it affect the ongoing construction for these firing ranges? And do you think that this is something that you can get the military to agree to?
So the burials, the remains is again over at the cantonment, right? So it's a different location from the firing ranges. So those are, I think we're fairly much in agreement that those are going to remain in place. As far as the firing range, again, once the area was cleared back in decades ago, the probability of finding a complete set of, let's say, laddie sets within this upcoming 5th range, we don't know. The probability is probably low because we have evidence of a mass clearing once upon a time, right? But then we don't know, and hence what we've learned in the first 4 rounds of the firing ranges, where there was an initial assumption of not finding too much. Obviously that was not the case. Right. So we'd like to do a comprehensive study before anything is done in that area.
Pat, so we have 45 days to negotiate this. That comprehensive study that you're talking about, how long would this take?
It all depends on the amount of resources that they put in. That question was actually posed to me from the front office, and I said it could take, maybe as quickly as 30 days and as long as 90 days. That's my quick guess on it. Again, depending on how much resources was put in and how much they find, because the more they find, obviously the more it's gonna take.
I'm good.
Oh, you're good? Oh, okay. So Pat, I don't know, we're trying to get the pause of the clearing, but while we're doing that, are we confident that there aren't other areas that it could have, burials and artifacts that maybe we're going to miss while we're focusing on this? Because other construction is going to continue, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's always a possibility. The findings of the burials over at the Marine Cantonment was unexpected, and so there's always that possibility of finding it, and it changes the dynamics of the whole approach. So those findings were fairly significant, still being studied as we speak, and So we just don't know. We want to do a thorough and correct job when it comes to the last and final range that they're planning.
Right. How about on our end, the resources, right? Because I just kind of feel like it's you and you've got like what, two, three other staff. Do we have the manpower, and the money that we need for you guys to go in there and
Yeah,
police what's going on?
yeah, it's definitely a struggle. We're just like so many other agencies that are required to in the permitting business. It's a struggle to keep on top of everything. My staff is wonderful. We do what we can. John Mark Joseph's been amazing, and his staff. Obviously, there's need for more. I've been in dialogue with Senator Terlahi, with the governor, and trying to get a little bit more assistance to be even more proactive than what we are and what we have. So great question. Good thing to bring it up. We're it's a little bit of a struggle, but we're finding ways to stay on top of things.
Okay, Pat, I think I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, but thanks. And let's make it a regular thing. If you could give us an update on the next thing that happens, we'd love to bring you on again.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay,
Thanks
there
for
you
having
go.
me.
Pat.
Shippo, Pat Lujan there at 7-Eleven. Very interesting development that I'm sure, well, I know a bunch of my, the chats were just blowing up last night. You know what I mean? So that's pretty interesting to me, Bree, that going back to Linda Uggan, and she was about to pull the trigger on this exact same thing that Shippo Pat Lujan just did. Remember, they were saying, she was going to invoke stipulation. I interviewed her on it.
Yep.
She was going to invoke stipulation 13, and that kind of prompted the whole whirlwind of events that led to her termination, and I'm sure you guys know. So I just think it's pretty interesting that we removed Linda Uggan, who obviously had so many concerns, and I almost feel like because I know to me it's pretty clear she's been validated by this the invocation of stipulation 13 by the very gentleman who replaced her. So definitely pray for transparency in this process. It's 7:12. Hey, we're going to take a short break. It's the link on the Breeze 93.9 Biba Betness, and it's proudly brought to you by Polka, distributed by Ambrose Inc., as you can see here. To the right of Sabrina Salas Mantanani, we have our Polka pyramid, if you will.